right, good evening. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the Hampton Township Council for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. We will start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Blackburn?
Present.
Ms. Fritsch?
Present.
Mr. Midgley?
Present.
Mr. Scholey?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Speakman?
Present.
All right, first item on the agenda, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the following meetings? The regular meeting held Wednesday, June 24th, 2026, and the public hearing and the agenda meeting held Wednesday, July 8th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Scholey?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. All right, citizens' agenda matters. If anyone has anything that they would like to address to council, please step to the microphone and state your name and address and your concern. All right, moving on to administration then, please.
Yes, both Evan Hartman and Eli Wharton are in attendance tonight to receive the proclamation previously approved by Township Council. Evan, Eli, if you guys want to step forward. For those in the audience, which is mostly his family and Earl and Eric, you too, Frank.
And Frank.
And Frank, not forgetting about you. Eli and Evan were 8th graders last school year when they won 3rd prize in C-SPAN's annual National Video Documentary Competition Student Cam, which encourages students to think critically about issues that affect our communities in the region. Dr. Johnson, if you'd like to read the proclamation.
Sure. Give me just a moment. Township of Hampton proclamation honoring Evan Hartman and Eli Wharton for 3rd prize in the C-SPAN Student Cam. Whereas the Hampton Township Council is a municipality that takes great pride in the sense of community and civic engagement of its residents, especially those students of the Hampton Township School District. And whereas Cable Satellite Public Affairs Network, C-SPAN, is a television network dedicated to covering proceedings of the United States government, interviewing political leaders, and nonpartisan historical programming. And whereas on an annual basis, C-SPAN hosts Student Cam, a national competition for middle school and high school students to create video documentaries to voice their opinions on current political, economic, and social events. And whereas Eli Wharton and Evan Hartman, 8th graders in the Hampton Township School District, competed in the Student Cam competition, earning 3rd prize nationally for their video, Endless Pursuit, Income Inequality versus the Declaration of Independence. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hampton Township Council does hereby honor Evan Hartman and Eli Wharton on the remarkable achievement of 3rd prize in C-SPAN's National Student Cam competition. Congratulations, gentlemen.
You guys all want to go and get pictures with them. I mean, it's a proclamation of council.
Okay, let's go. Okay. We gotta be super.
We'll have the whole, like, your body joined.
Come down and do a picture.
That's true, actually.
Jerry. Jerry.
So unmotivated.
No, we can just get up here. There we go. All right, so you are more than welcome to stick around for the rest of our meeting, but you are under no obligation to do so.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, item B, please.
Yeah.
To stay?
They
Poor
may
kids,
never
it's summer
participate.
out.
They may never participate in Student Cam again. Requesting authorization to advertise the proposed Knox box ordinance. We discussed this at our last meeting, and I did have a memo that I sent over the weekend as follow-up. I did want to give some answers to some questions that were raised. With regard to the number of commercial or industrial properties, when we did our comp plan, we did a survey a couple years ago. This is dated information. But we have probably about 200, 250 commercial or industrial properties in Hampton, about 300 to 350 businesses. Bear in mind, this does not include the multifamily properties that we covered under this ordinance. The other point I wanted to make that I didn't in the memo, we get what's called an ISO rating, Insurance Services Office rating, for our fire department. It actually is the basis for the commercial and homeowners insurance in this community. And the presence of Knox boxes actually provides a credit toward a local fire department's ISO rating under community risk and reduction in fire prevention. Al Cohen also got me some information regarding the number of calls. There's not, and I know, Eric, you're here, you're going to speak a little bit about some of the delays you guys have faced in terms of accessing properties. Between July of 2025 and July of 2026, there's approximately 125 fire alarms were dispatched by Allegheny County 911 to the volunteer fire company. That is not inclusive of every alarm. When he was hired, there were 12 Knox boxes installed on commercial buildings. As of today, there's 41. This includes one on a residential property in Devlin's Point. He knows of at least 2 instances where the VFD had to force entry into a building during an event. One of those buildings has since installed the Knox box. It was actually the school district. My understanding is the part where they forced entry, actually the damage is still there. And then finally, he mentioned the volunteer fire company, and truthfully, I don't know of any fire department that truly tracks how long they have to wait as a result of a Knox box not being present. They don't keep track of that information, so he doesn't have that on him. Eric, I don't know if you want to talk about just some of the issues you guys have faced at Shaler Hampton EMS with regards to Knox, the lack of Knox boxes and the wait that you've problems.
Ironically, just this morning, we got a phone call, 3 phone calls actually from a resident who lives in an apartment building in Hampton, concerned about access to her apartment. Tim explained it to her once, called back in, explained it to her twice, explained it to her 3 times, and I'm not going to identify the apartment building, but there are instances we have, and the biggest issue we have is with apartment building. It's not commercial structures. Occasionally with residential structures, although this is not what we're discussing tonight with Knox boxes. But with apartment buildings, it does happen all the time. There's a couple in particular in Hampton we have had problems with access. It's can be a time. We wait for people to come with keys and open doors. We make for decisions being made by police officers trying to do the right thing for the right reasons. And the Knox box just does solve those problems for us, without a doubt.
Did you have, I mean, I know when we spoke, you had an example recently of a wellness check you guys had to do.
We did. We had, and this is a bit ago. I'm not sure the exact time frame, because we don't track these instances as catalog them as such, but in conversation among crew, we had a person who had their employer had called for a welfare check, who was highly reliable, never missed work, all those kind of things came to the apartment. The person's car was there, and we were working with PD to try to make a decision about entry or not, wait for somebody to come and answer the door. And frankly, there was some angst on the part of the EMS who weren't going in. We thought it was fast enough. And in the end, the patient was deceased, unfortunately. And nothing going in earlier, I'm not implying going in earlier in this case would have changed that, but in any other given circumstances, it could have. A Knox box gives that very quick answer and ability to get into the house, or the apartment,
And one of the things that's changed with the ordinance, and the reason why you see a draft one before you tonight, I did include Shaler Hampton EMS. I didn't include in the one that was in the packet, but I did include them as one that would hold a copy of the master key to the Knox boxes. They're in that ordinance now. They're defined in there. So.
or else I told him I wouldn't talk tonight.
Yes, you did say that. You are correct. Al Cohen and representatives from the fire department will be at one of our next meetings in August. They could not make it tonight to talk a little bit more about about the Knox box program and in terms of life safety, safety of the actual first responders. And I can speak from personal anecdotal experience. My parents' neighbor is a volunteer firefighter, and there was a fire, and he had to access a building using an axe, and he blew his shoulder out.
It was ironically, again, coincidental. I was in Philadelphia for an Annual Association of Pennsylvania meeting, to talk about all the things, and it allowed a conversation with one of my peers from there, who they have a Knox box program for residents, where they keep a rotating stock of these Knox boxes hang over a door. That's how they're secured by a closed door, but it gives access to people when there's limited mobility issues and those kind of things with people with a fairly low expense, so it can go to the residential market as well.
Yeah. And again, I know there was questions about commercial building permits. I gave you some of that information. We had 20 in the last year. The commercial occupancy that would change over, because the ordinance is triggered by change of occupancy or change of, or issuance of a building or zoning permit. The number of occupancy permits that we issued in the last in 2025, there were 37 commercial occupancy permits issued during that time, and 20 building permits. There is some overlap there, but that just gives you some idea of what we see sort of on an annual basis. So, with that said, I do recommend that we advertise the ordinance for consideration next month.
Anyone have any questions?
So we're gonna advertise,
Mhm.
we're going to have, some of our internal stakeholders come and
Yes.
advocate for it. So
Mhm.
so when are we actually gonna vote on this?
You would vote on it next month.
The second meeting? of
Yes.
next
Will
month?
there
Okay.
be a public hearing? when
Not
we do
for,
this one?
it's not a zoning or a budget ordinance, so no, there's not a public hearing.
Okay.
You know, I like math, so it was
Mhm.
200 some businesses, or maybe I got it backwards, 200 commercial, 300 businesses,
Yeah.
500 something.
Yeah.
Plus apartment buildings, which are not,
No.
so that's a pretty decent number, of
Yeah.
which only 41.
One, yes. And the point I would make, the business owners, I think it's a nominal fee, and I mean, when, we had building permits last year that ranged from $80,000 to, on the low end, $3,000. I mean, on the lowest of those building permits, the cost of a Knox box is 1/6 of the value of the construction. I do think it's actually a preventive public safety tool. All too often when we do public safety, we're reacting. This is proactive. So yeah, and to the extent that, again, business owners or even, property owners of multifamily object to a Knox box, I think the most important thing is the actual stakeholders are the people, the patrons of those businesses, the employees of those businesses, the people who live in those, the tenants of those apartments. I think they expect basic public access during emergency event, basic access of emergency responders during emergency events. So,
There's no ongoing subscription fee that they have
No.
to pay. And then, what if somebody has a master key that shouldn't have a master key? How do we go and change locks, or how does the security work?
yeah, there's an actual box that's installed there's one right now in one of the fire apparatus, and we're working to get it, Al Kellen's working with Sergeant Haas to get it in one of the police vehicles. It's a you have, the master key is inside that, it's not on a keychain.
Okay.
And you have to have access to that box via a code to get into it. So they're not carried around on keychains.
When you say commercial or industrial structures,
Mm-hmm.
so like for example, near my house, there's like a very small and very modest commercial strip. There's a Brazilian market there. I think
Yeah.
there's you know what I'm talking about. So does every store there have to have a lockbox, or is it just
No.
one lockbox for the
It's
entire?
one lockbox for the entire bill. Like Shoppers Plaza has one Knox box for the entire. Actually, they have two. I think they have one for the Starbucks and then one for the strip. So
So it's not all of the small businesses. It's the landlord. Has
the
to
landlord
put-
installs. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that knockbox has the key to every business.
Yes. Yes.
Now, the box that has all the master keys to open the Knox
Yeah.
boxes that will be in a police cruiser and a few other locations, you said that is a code. Is it a single code that multiple people know, or is it an individual code per person who has access, so you know who accessed that
box.
And that I don't know. My understanding, and I could be wrong, Tom, I don't know if you know offhand, my understanding, I could be wrong, is there's a master code and you know who the code holders are.
Okay, so you
so,
just know that a
yeah.
master
But-
code holder
Yes.
accessed it, not which one.
Yeah, and Al would be responsible for the entire program in terms of knowing who those people are, keeping track of who that is. You know, and I would point out, I know I sent this in my memo, you know, there's a lot of other communities, McCandless, Robinson, I mean, even smaller ones, Leedsdale, Dormont, Neville Township, who've had these ordinances in place for a long time. There aren't I haven't seen any instances in any of those communities of those master keys being stolen and used maliciously, so.
How's Al, like, does Al have like a database? Like, how does
Yes.
he keep track of all
Yes.
this? Is it like an Excel spreadsheet, or like, is there an actual like web portal that's?
No, I believe it's an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a web portal. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Can I pretend to be a lawyer?
Go ahead.
Well, I think you have to ask the lawyers.
Proceed at your own
So,
risk, Dan.
Yeah.
Is there any precedent, I had to use that word, for what you were just describing? You know, where somebody gets a key, goes in, like, how are they charged criminally? Because
I'm just gonna just offer my 2 cents.
Yeah,
Everybody has one, and I've
Yep.
never heard of a problem.
Okay.
So that's not technical, that's not, I don't have data, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
know that all my places have one,
I
and
mean,
I've
would it-
never had a problem.
would it
If
be
they do,
treated
it's
as
that, it's
theft?
Criminal,
or-
yeah.
unauthorized access.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And it was funny. I was actually anticipating that question. At least
Yeah.
at least from the police side, what I always say is, you know, with them having access to the Knox box. I mean, when we hire them, we give them a gun. So, I mean, we're giving them a weapon. Like the idea that they would have access to this master key, that's nothing in terms of liability. And
Yeah, I guess where I'm going
with
is the
them.
township in no way would be held liable for,
Oh, absolutely.
Misuse.
If a township employee accessed a box and somebody's place
no,
of
no, 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 no. If
of
somebody
business
like
without.
breaks in and steals it, and then the business is saying, well, you made me do that,
You mean not a township employee?
yes.
Yeah, somebody breaks into the Knox box.
I'm not aware of any cases where that's been.
I mean, I'm trying to equate it to if you knock me over and take my car key, like, that's still a crime. You steal my car.
Well, I guess if it comes down to if
I'll
the
take
township
it,
was
Kim, I'm sorry.
negligent in giving their,
Yeah.
the person's ability to access that information, just like any other proprietary or information that the township would have for
Yeah.
somebody.
I'm good, thank you.
In
Thank you.
what I believe
Real
to be
lawyer,
true, but
thank
I
you.
do not know, since I do not practice any of that.
Knox box law. Knox box law.
Knox box law.
Is that the technical term?
I don't think that exists, Knox box law, but yeah.
Patent
All right.
that, or trademark that.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
And a reminder, this is simply a motion to authorize advertisement of the proposed ordinance. All right, then if there are no other questions, can I get a motion to authorize the township manager to advertise the proposed Knox box ordinance?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor.
I actually, for this next one, I actually had Earl. He was kind enough after moving his, you moved your,
Orientation.
yeah, Kent State. So, yes, he attended,
You're going back to school. Daughter number 2 is.
yeah, so he was just up there today and he actually came back to this meeting. And he deserves a lot of credit for this. I mean, he took the proposal, advertised it, you know, worked out what he wanted to see in it, and handled all the questions at the pre-proposal meeting. We got 6 proposals. The low bid is eSafe Partners. It's $98,000 in the first year because there's a setup cost of $3,000. I would point out that is less than the $110,000 that we're currently paying for the 2 services, MSP and backup solution combined. So with that, though, Earl, I've done enough talking. I know, Jerry, one of the questions you asked at the last meeting was why eSafe didn't bid last time. Earl, if you,
I do know they are under new ownership. I don't know that they were looking back then.
yeah, so. you have any questions?
Yeah.
I feel like we have to ask you questions because
Yeah,
you
he-
came back.
Yeah, and he's going home. He's going home to Beaver County tonight, so he's got a ride ahead of him. So
All right, so I have a question. for
Yes.
Earl. So they were the strongest applicant. What though would you perceive relative to the others? Maybe they, even though they're the strongest overall, do they have any, I don't know,
It was more
weaknesses or anything that might be of concern where they weren't as strong, even if overall they were the strongest?
For me, I based everything on 5 factors. Their CGIS compliance readiness for chief, 24/7 help desk and monitoring, their automated alerting, which we were not getting. Multi-year pricing on an apples to apples, they had the strongest across the board of what I actually wanted. Everyone else's language was a little bit ambiguous and could be, professional services could be charged in a different way. And the contract terms and clarity. Overall, they were the strongest based on those. I don't know, anything else?
So we're getting this same service that we had before,
Yes.
but cheaper.
I think it's better service.
For
They have
better
things
service,
that we didn't
plus
have before.
Like-
backup and disaster recovery, that are actually managed. They were not managed prior to, meaning somebody takes those images and spins them up in a virtual machine to make sure the images actually boot, so we have good backups.
and this is why I had Earl attend, because he can explain this in ways that I have no capability of doing.
And when does this implement again?
As soon as we're ready, I think the previous contract has ended on the 14th.
Yes,
Of
August.
August.
Who was the prior vendor, Earl?
All
All
lines.
like-
All lines, thanks.
Cool. Great.
Better service, less money.
I mean, that sounds like a no-brainer.
What'd you think of ATEC? I mean, I'm just reading the comments, but I mean,
They were
super, super low
They were the one
cost.
with the very odd language where we couldn't really tell what was covered, what wasn't.
That's good.
So
yeah.
we were more than likely to get hit with charges out of nowhere for random things that should be routine.
So that's what I was thinking when I looked at it, and just looking at the notes. It's like, oh, you want a potato? That's extra, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hidden.
They had odd SLAs as well.
Yeah, the ones for eSafe are fairly strong, aren't they?
Correct. Everything's inside of 2 hours for help desk, and emergency response is supposed to be within 15 minutes.
Nice. Anyone else have any questions?
Where are they physically located?
Robinson.
Any other questions?
Am I gonna have to continually be harassed by no before my email?
Oh, can I stop doing those? I mean, I didn't start. Let's be serious, but yeah. Can I stop feeling guilty when I open up my emails?
I know,
In
right?
November, yes, because I was planning on switching to Huntress,
Oh, great. So
which is a little
we
more
get.
entertaining.
Okay.
Goodness, I would hope so. Those are so corny.
They're a little dry.
Oh. All right. Any other questions? Then can I get a motion to award a 3-year contract for managed IT services to eSafe Partners in the amount of $7,999 per month for year 1 with a $3,000 one-time onboarding fee per the memo dated July 2nd, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Midgley?
Favor.
Mr. Shuley?
Favor.
Ms. Blackburn?
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch?
Favor.
Dr. Johnson?
Favor. Quick question. Did you do a tour at Kent today?
I did. It was kind of stark, but we did drive over to main campus because she will be living there.
But you didn't do a tour of the main campus?
No,
Okay.
just a driving tour.
I happen to know a tour guide over there.
Might take you up on
All right, next thing on the agenda is North Hills COG. Really, it was primarily routine things this month, but the COG is currently investigating what services are provided by other COGs in the area and services that the municipalities might be interested in. So if anyone has anything that they've thought in the past, I wonder if the COG would do this, you can send me an email, let me know, and I'll forward it over to the director. Otherwise, there was, of course, many discussions about salt, again. Any questions? All right, Water Authority monthly report,
I have nothing to add.
Engineers monthly report,
Nothing to add there as well.
Legal Counsel monthly report,
Nothing to add, Madam President?
Controller's monthly report.
How long do we have?
Seriously?
He promised we'd get out of here early tonight.
I did.
Well, we are at the halfway point of the year. Operating revenues when compared to last year are $81,000 ahead, while operating expenses exceed last year by $335,000.
That's at this point,
At
not
this point.
anticipated. At this point, okay.
On the revenue side, real estate tax collections for the current year are $15,000 behind last year. It reflects 73% collections of the billed amount, so the billing was 1st of May. Discount period, end of June. There were $52,000 in discounts that were taken in by paying that amount by the end of June. Delinquent tax collection is $40,000 behind 25. So I think that may end up falling short of budget. Earned income is at 56% of budget. That's $198,000 increase over the same period last year. Deed transfer tax is at 45% of budget, but is $95,000 ahead of last year. We also already know that July's receipts were July
June.
receipts were quite strong already, so deed transfer is doing very, very well. Building permits trailed 25 by 26,000, reflecting 45% of budget. Receipt of cable franchise fees continues to lag and is $60,000 behind in 25. Reflective of lower building permits, sewer tap-in and capacity fees are $80,000 behind 25. These budgets had been reduced in anticipation of fewer new home constructions this year. Insurances are $55,000 ahead of 25, reflects an increased dividend from our workers' comp premium investment and reimbursement for worker compensation claims, significantly the police department. In regard to expenses, increases in salaries and benefits represent an overall increase. Professional services and finance, $14,000 over 25, but that's related to a one-time insurance reappraisal that
Yeah.
was done for all of the municipal properties. Police overtime is $47,000 over the 25. It's at 89% of budget already. There are many factors contributing to the variance, but budget is likely to be exceeded by double. Police capital outlay is $40,000 over 25, but it is as budgeted for new vehicles this year. And as you've heard many times, the SALT budget for 26 has already exceeded budget by $53,000. That variance will only grow as we prepare for next winter season. On a positive note, although not reflected in first half financials, the state did increase their payment to the township for the roads that we maintain due to severe winter. Fuel expense is currently $20,000 more than the same period last year. You would expect that. Expenses at the sewage treatment plant are collectively $170,000 over the same period at 25. Utility, sludge removal, belt press polymers, a camera software subscription, as well as pump station repairs, and are the main contributors to that increased cost. And that's it from the operating side of the house, unless you have any other questions. We're in good position, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Despite
But-
being $300,000
but-
over operational expenses.
Right,
Okay.
but our revenues are on pace to let us absorb that, as well as potentially, if they keep load up on salt later in the season.
All right, thank you. Anyone have any questions? All right, Information Technology Monthly Report.
I have nothing to add, but Earl is here if you have any
Anything to
questions.
add to your monthly report? All right. And I have nothing to add to the library
Okay.
monthly report unless there are questions. Anything else for administration?
Nothing.
Public safety, please.
I have nothing to add to my report either.
All right. EMS monthly report?
I might.
Of course.
Just a couple things quickly.
Very new, different reporting.
Well, it's halfway, it's a 6-month report, so some different data in there. It is somewhat similar to what I presented last month, it was just Hampton data. But this is for the system-wide. So just a couple of quick high points from this data, 2,758 calls year-to-date. This is only the emergency calls, by the way, not talking about the non-emergency transport business, which we kind of handle separately. 92.2% of those calls occur in Etna, Shaler, or Hampton, about 15.3 average calls per day. We did, I said 92.2% of the calls in the 3 communities we serve. Of those, 32.4% of our total calls are in Hampton year to date. Transported 1,770 patients, so that's about 64.2% of the patients that we transport. Specific to Hampton, for both Shaler and Hampton, number one destination is UPMC Passman. But for Hampton, it's clear and away number one. Passman McCandless is 346, HN Wexford 63, St. Margaret 35, Allegheny General 28, and on down from there. So certainly proximity and the level of services there and everything, and so forth is what precipitates that. And the last thing I just wanted to mention really quickly, some of you probably saw a month ago, an article in the Tribune Review about a couple who had been arrested and charged with multiple felonies for keeping funds meant for Shaler Hampton EMS and for Ross West EMS. On the charge that they received through the diversion of funds from us, they were charged with 5 different felonies. They spent the night in jail. We're still waiting for preliminary hearing. We've been there twice for it. But the first time their counsel didn't show, and the second time their counsel was in the hospital. So we're still going to keep proceeding about that. But more importantly, I kind of wanted to mention the last part of this report, which is in 2025, Highmark is the only insurer that does this in this market, and that is that they pay the patient directly because we're not contracted to them. Even though we're not contracted with UPMC, they pay us directly. Same thing with Aetna, same thing with all the other insurers. But in 2025, we had 233 calls where we built Highmark insurance, their commercial insurance, not seniors insurance, not Medicaid, those kind of things. Of those, 105 people kept the check, for a total of $150,398. And if that's not significant, that slightly exceeds what Hampton contributes to our organization every year. So it's a very significant number. It's something as an industry that is a significant problem. The number between ourselves, McCandless, Franklin Park, and Ross West Juniors, $500,000, or $500,000. And we're working to understand the numbers in the county. But it's a very, very significant issue. So we're going to be continuing to be vocal about it. Just so you know, this isn't something that just happens, and occasionally somebody will get something else, think it's an EOB, and they throw it away. That does certainly happen. If they stop to read things, it's very clearly marked as a payment for EMS. Our billing company, when they see a Highmark patient, they send them a letter that tells them you're going to get a check. When they get a check, they get a letter that says you got a check. So it's really hard to say that I wasn't aware of what was happening in this circumstance. So Highmark says it's to protect their subscribers, but at least in one case, it put their subscribers in jail. So it continues to be an issue that we're very concerned about. Lastly, let's end on a positive note. Might be said that on July 3rd, we all had a hot time, because it certainly was hot. I'm shocked to say that we didn't have any heat-related illnesses that day. We did have a couple of minor issues towards the end of the night, but really very, very quiet day. We did do some hands-only CPR training. It was a little hard to get people to contribute to it, or commit to doing that, the weather we had going on. We'll be back at it again. We'll be at Pints in the Park doing hands-only CPR training. And I'm really excited to say that I heard from Susanna recently, and they've had the mannequin for a while now, getting it registered for the system and so forth. You'll be seeing a joint announcement coming out from the Hampton Library, the Shader North Hills Library, and Shader Hampton EMS about the availability of both those mannequins in the libraries within the next probably few days. We hope before the end of this month for sure. So happy to finally see that come to fruition, and hopefully get some really good excitement about that. And that's my report. Happy to answer any questions.
For those that, get the check from Highmark, is there an active collection process that, whether it's through the district magistrate or criminally that you're doing?
So the district magistrate is somewhat problematic, and that's not a aspersion of the district magistrate. It's just there's a process around it.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at singular cases, one single case we pursue through the magistrate will be that we have to go up, file the case, it's an all cost associated with, we have to go to the hearing, we have to go to a second hearing, and then we have to hope that we get paid after that time, and the right things happen after the fact. Take that times, what did I say the number was? 100 and some
100,
circumstances. In 1 year, it's very significant. We have gone with a new collection company that is actually by our council. Their law firm has a collection company. All letters from the collections come on law firm letterhead, and it has been immensely more successful than we had in place in the past. So we're pretty happy about that.
Good.
We received a check last month from collections that exceeds what we received from any collections in previous years in the entire year. So we're pretty happy. Any other questions?
I think that's like batty. That's just crazy. And I've never experienced this, so I have no idea. But when Highmark sends that check to me, say, how would I get it to you? Does Highmark put an envelope in there?
That's really interesting you say that. So it used to be that people would just sign the check and send it to us. But Highmark somehow has now stopped the ability for them to do that. They now have to deposit the check and write another check and send it to us.
This is getting better.
I don't even have
continually gets
checks
better.
anymore.
Yeah, it really does. It's an unbelievable circumstance. I personally sat in the CEO's office at Highmark when I worked there to talk about this issue. He directed the senior executives to fix it. That was about 10 years ago. So I'm not holding my breath for that one anymore.
In your opinion, what does it take to fix that?
I'm sorry?
In your opinion, what does it take to fix that? Is it legislation? Is it?
Well,
Is
it
it
is
just
legislation.
Highmark?
I'm sorry to say, actually,
Yeah.
we had a pending bill from the AAP for a statewide EMS fee schedule that would fix it. However, that's not going to pass this year, unfortunately, and we're going to have to start over with the end of this session with early 2027 with the whole process over again. Public pressure is a big thing there, but when I came to Shader Hampton, we were contracted with Highmark. One of the first things they did was cancel that contract. And even though they would pay us directly, the number was so low, and it's gotten lower since then, that even with all the checks that people kept, we still collect $170 more per trip than we would have if we didn't cancel that contract. So, it's still, even though, without the 150-some thousand, it is a more positive impact not to have the contract. And then when we canceled the contract, they sent a letter to every Highmark subscriber in the service area saying, don't call Shader Hampton EMS, they're not under contract. And then had to send another letter retracting that. So, it's all very purposeful, unfortunately.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
Just remember, I try to end positive.
That's all right.
Thank you all for
I
listening.
Thanks,
want to
Eric.
understand that. It's just
No,
it's just batty to
We
me.
can talk about it for a long time.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
All right. Chief, anything else for public safety?
I have nothing.
Community services, please.
Yeah, Melanie is actually at Christmas in July tonight. She's covering for another staff member, so there's a resolution before you to adopt the Young Lungs at Play program in Hampton. It would basically ban smoking and vaping in our parks and playgrounds. Enforcement of this is voluntary. I mean, you saw the signs that we're going to put up. the goal is obviously to discourage youth smoking. So,
Anyone have any questions? Can I get a resolution number?
1129.
All right, can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 1129, adopting Young Lungs at Play for the Hampton Community Park per the recommendation of the Parks and Recreation Program Administrator and the Township Manager, and the memo dated June 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shuley,
Favor?
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Mr. Midgley,
Favor.
Dr. Johnson.
Favor.
So what's the enforcement?
There isn't one.
There isn't.
there isn't.
So people are gonna see it, they're gonna see the signs, somebody's going to be smoking. What do?
Nothing. Shame
The
them.
goal is
Yes.
shame. Yeah,
I'd say,
shame.
yeah.
Shame. The goal is the power of shame.
That's right.
It's a deterrent
Yeah.
and shame tool.
It's reminding them that next to them is a young child.
And just because the sign is, they don't know the enforcement's voluntary. We're not advertising that, but they'll see the sign. Yeah.
Somebody gonna start calling 911? Because, you know,
Guess
they-
somebody's smoking in the park.
There's signs up now.
they-
Yeah.
And nobody calls
contrary or
911.
a combative person when commented or talked to by somebody, you know, just,
Then you can call 911 for something else.
Yes.
yeah.
All right, anything to add to the monthly report?
I have nothing unless anybody has any questions.
And anything else for community services? Environmental services, please.
Thank you, Madam President. The first item we have this evening is the manager and I are recommending adoption of an ordinance accepting the sanitary sewer main and easement associated with Pioneer Place residential development. At your place this evening, we've placed two separate memos, one from KLH and one from our department in support.
Does anyone have any questions about this item? Ordinance number, please.
882.
Can I get a motion to adopt ordinance 882, accepting the sanitary sewer main and easement associated with Pioneer Place residential development per the recommendation of the Environmental Services Director and the Township Manager?
So,
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor.
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Mr. Midgley,
favor.
Mr. Shuley,
Favor?
Dr. Johnson.
Favor. Anything else?
Outside of the monthly report, just look forward to seeing everybody on October 10th
10th.
at our final
October
tour.
10th. And hopefully it will not be 90 or 30.
Or snowing, or raining.
Just like
Is that a Saturday?
Yes.
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 Saturday morning.
I clearly did not even look. Whatever date you pick is fine.
Okay. Zoning and planning, please.
So of course my items are just the second hearing that we had. Covered that.
We are tabling all three items, correct?
Yes.
To August 26th?
Yes, the end of August. So the next hearing will occur at the next agenda meeting.
All right, anyone have any questions? Then can I get a motion to table items A, B, and C, the 7 Brew preliminary and final land development application, the conditional use application, and the lot consolidation application?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Ms. Fritsch,
Favor.
Mr. Midgley,
Favor.
Mr. Shuley,
Favor?
Ms. Blackburn,
Favor.
or Dr. Johnson.
Favor. Anything to add to the monthly report?
Nothing further to add.
And anything else for zoning and planning?
Nothing further.
All right. Old business.
The only thing I have, it doesn't show up on your upcoming events, but Al Todd reached out to us. Friday, August 21st, 6 o'clock at Grubbs Pavilion will be the first responders picnic. If you can attend, you're all welcome. Other than that, the Summerween evening swim is always a very popular one at the community pool. I give the staff at the pool credit. It's been very difficult with our staffing with lifeguards this year, and some have even left. They're going to be leaving as soon as the end of this month. So August is going to be all hands on deck, and they've really stepped up thus far, at least from a scheduling perspective.
Summerween, is that like a Halloween theme?
Yes, yes.
It's from Gravity Falls. I think we talked about this last year.
I was paying attention then. I couldn't remember all of that.
Yeah, it's just something
I
that
don't
started on a kid's cartoon show and took off, and a lot of people celebrate it now.
Huh.
Interesting.
All right, new business.
I have nothing.
All right, does anyone else have anything that they would like to add for new business?
Oh, what's the movie?
Superman. isn't it?
Superman,
Which
Oh,
one?
yeah, I saw that.
the last one that just came out,
2024 version?
25,
25 version.
yeah.
So, maybe we can put out like some social media posts, but the Depreciation Lands Museum is having a ball at the community center on September 26th. They're
Yes.
having some kind of thing. So I'm hopeful that maybe we can,
Well,
you
that's
know,
a lot of information
advertise
for the social media
that.
posts.
What is the thing?
It's a ball.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're supposed to become dressed in traditional or if you can just, come and have a great time. But it's a big deal. It's here at the community center and it's September 26th.
We'll tell you what, we'll ask Matt Hahn to put together a flyer. He's very talented, so he's been doing a lot of advertising
And if we
for
can
us. He's great.
Sell some tickets for them.
Absolutely.
And it's 2 months away, I guess, but yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That would be
How much are
great.
tickets, do you know?
No, I'll buy some for me, but I haven't bought them yet, so. But they're out there on their website, I believe, for purchase, so, yes.
All right, cool. Thank you. Anyone else have anything for new business? All right, What are we discussing?
Legal and personnel.
All right, we're now going to adjourn to an executive session where we will be discussing legal and personnel matters. Thank you for coming this evening.
Are we gonna decide on a date for budget, or did we do that already?
That's actually on your agenda for November 9th.